Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are making we're gonna call them sandwiches, but they're really not sandwiches per se, but they are more of like a wrap. We're gonna be using wraps, and we're gonna turn them into like ham and cheese sandwiches. This is super simple, especially today is Super Bowl Sunday, so this is a great idea for a Super Bowl party, or even for any party that you have in the house, kids, snacks, all that fun stuff. Anyways, I'm going to give you a really quick thing of what I'm going to be using here. So here we go. Number one is that I'm using tortillas, or wraps. So you can use whatever type of wrap you want, or whatever brand you prefer. We're going to need 1 egg to do an egg wash. We can seal the edges. I'm going to be using some ham. I am going to be using some cheddar cheese or some mozzarella cheese. I have both. And I'm going to be using some roasted red peppers on not all of them, because, you know, my daughter's not a fan. I'm also going to be using some, either you can use butter or you can just use a little bit of pan spray. It's up to you. To start out with, we're going to really quickly... Actually, before we even start, just do me a favor. Hit the like button. Go down right at the bottom. Hit the like button. Just click like. Don't forget to subscribe. And hit the notification bell. That way when I put up videos, you will see it first. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I'm just going to start with, because I don't want to take too much time, I am going to start by simply making an egg wash. So I'm just going to crack an egg directly into my little bowl. And we're going to simply go ahead and whisk it and add a little bit of water. You can use milk, but I'm doing water. Egg wash, and we're going to set this aside. And let's just get started. So next thing is that we are going to grab a little bit of ham. This is just regular cold cuts. You go to your deli and just get some deli meat. You don't have to use ham. You can use whatever deli meat you want. And we're going to roll it like a little burrito. And we're simply going to run our knife through it. Okay, so run your knife right through it, and you're gonna get like little pieces of shredded ham. So this is step one. Set it aside. We're using, like I said, the cheese is already shredded, so I don't have to do anything to the cheese. But we are going to grab our roasted red peppers, and I am going to grab just one, because I'm not making a lot of this. Take one out of the liquid, and we're gonna do the exact same thing. We just want to give it a rough little chop. Add peppers only to those that are gonna eat the peppers. We're doing it the exact same way. So we do the little strands. Now let me go wash my hands. And now we're going to go ahead and assemble. So this is going to be the fun part. We're going to need a little tiny bit of room. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to grab another cutting board, set this one in the back, so we can go ahead and get started. So your cutting board, you don't want your cutting board to slide. So we want to put something, maybe a paper towel or a kitchen towel, wet, right in the bottom. And we place the cutting board directly on top. That way nothing slides. I'm just going to go ahead, because I just rinsed my cutting board. I do want to go ahead and dry it. And so we have our cutting board ready. Now this is the fun part to me. You're going to need yourself, you're going to start by taking one little tortilla. So one tortilla, hopefully you guys can see good. Okay, one tortilla. We're going to grab our knife. Let's grab a different knife. And we're going to go ahead and run it right down the center. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so here we have our tortilla. This will make one sandwich. So what we're gonna do is, now if you like mayonnaise, you can go ahead and add mayo to this. Now, I'm not gonna add anything to it. So to start out with, I'm gonna add ham. I'm gonna add a few of my roasted peppers, not a lot. I gotta make sure that I know exactly which one is going where. And I'm going to add a little bit of my cheese directly on the top. Okay, we need space around the sides, so just make sure that you leave a little bit of room. So the next thing we're doing is that we're going to grab ourselves a little brush, if I could find one. Let's see. It's funny how when you look for something you can't find it, but you're gonna need a little brush. You can use a little pastry brush or whatever type of brush you have available. I know I have a pastry brush, but for some reason I can't find it. But we're gonna be using, oh, here we go. I don't like this brush, but we're gonna be using a little pastry brush, and we are going to brush the little sides of your, we're gonna brush the little sides here with a little bit of your egg wash. If you don't have a brush, just use your fingers, it's okay. We're gonna bring this up and we are going to press it together. Yes, press it together. Literally use your hands, use some force, bring it all the way around. Look. Okay, and then we're gonna grab a little fork and we're gonna make indents on it to make sure that we seal all your little enclosures. Now you can put this in the air fryer, by the way. You don't have to do it, you don't have to pan fry it, you don't have to put butter if you don't want, you don't have to put oil. But just really quickly, this is our little Sammy. So we're gonna set it aside. We're gonna grab the other. We're gonna go ahead and grab again our ham. I don't want to do too much of it. We're gonna grab our peppers. Another cool little trick here is you could do these and make breakfast sandwiches by simply adding scrambled eggs inside of here, and you are good to go. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and do, again, we're gonna just do a quick little and press. Only pressing them because we need them to hold together, so that way we can, you might need a little bit more eggs to help it bind, but anyways, I want you to see. So this is what we're doing, and after we get them all done, I will show you the next step. One other thing I wanted to show you before we start cooking these, so I'm going to make a sweet one. So same way, now I'm going to grab guava that I've already prepared, which is just guava paste. If any of them open, by the way, just reseal them, it's no big deal. It's just guava paste you could buy, and what you want to do with the guava paste is that you want to mix it with a little bit of water and a little bit of lemon juice, vanilla. Mix it and set it aside. Hold on, let me grab the door. I'll be right back. So sorry. The life of a super's wife. Okay, so we're gonna reseal them again the exact same way. So I did guava and some mozzarella cheese. Great combination, by the way. So you're going to get sweet and a little bit of salty from the mozzarella. And again, we close it. This is just a little tricky. Sometimes they want to be a little temperamental. Sometimes they close really good. Other times they take forever to close. So just work with it. Be patient. And we're going to do that in all sides. So I'm going to finish the last one. And next we are going to set them up and get them ready to be cooked. So let's get this going. One last one, which I do want to show you. Again, we're back at it with the tortilla. And what we're going to do really quickly is that we're going to, again, we're going to grab ham. We're going to grab some roasted peppers just on this one. We're also going to grab some caramelized onions. Oh yeah. You're going to tell me that's not going to be good? That's going to be good. That's going to be good. I'm going to do mozzarella cheese on this one. Sometimes we need to just squeeze it a little bit. Okay. And again, we do the egg wash. Just because we want to make sure that everything is set. I'm doing it on one side. It'd just be easier for me to do. And we do it that way. So anyways, the possibilities on this are endless. You could do just caramelized onions and feta cheese. You can use any type of filling you like. Now I'm gonna be making 2 little sauces here really quick. I'm gonna make a mayo ketchup to go with this, and I'm also, you know what, I might even do an aioli. Let's see. But I'm gonna do a mayo ketchup, and I probably will do a take on a barbecue sauce that I make. Okay, well, I'll show you that. Okay, so before we even cook this stuff, I'm gonna make a quick aioli. This is not my recipe, this is just an aioli. So we're gonna put in a blender or in a hand blender or in an immersion blender, we're gonna put 1 whole egg and 1 egg yolk, which I am cracking now. 1 egg yolk. Wash your hands because you're dealing with raw egg product. We're gonna use the juice. We're gonna use about 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. Let me see how much I can get out of this. I don't want to overdo it because I don't want it to be too lemony. So I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. This is per the recipe is calling for. Recipe's also calling for 1 garlic clove. I'm adding 2 only because I like the garlic flavor. Now it is also asking, or it's calling for me to add some Dijon mustard. I honestly don't have it. I'm gonna add half of a teaspoon, I'm sorry, of half of a teaspoon of, what is it? of salt, and I'm gonna just do some freshly ground black pepper. So just gonna crack some pepper directly on here. I'm gonna add a little more in a little while. I am gonna add, only because this is a me thing, I'm gonna add a little bit of those roasted peppers that we used a minute ago, just to give it a little try here. And so what we're gonna do right now is that we are going to start making this emulsion. Normally, it's because it's asking for mustard and I don't have it. I am gonna substitute and add just a little tiny bit of what is this thing called? Of mayo. I'm just gonna add just a little bit of mayo. I'm not a big mayo person, but I will add it on this because I won't taste it. So here we go, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started. What I'm doing is mixing everything first. We're gonna be using 1 cup of oil. I am using extra light tasting. I'm using extra light tasting olive oil, and I'm gonna start drizzling directly in here. Now the citrus is gonna help cook those eggs a little bit. So what we do here is we're going to start little by little adding this oil, letting it emulsify. I did red because I like the roasted red pepper flavor. You don't have to add it. That was a me thing. But this is a lot. This is going to give me a nice amount of aioli. So we're going to continue to mix. It'll start thickening up. The reason I put it directly up here, there is a little hole, and that little hole will automatically drizzle in the oil slowly. So you wonder what the little hole was there for, now you know. It's nice and thickened. I'll show you that next. So we're going to go ahead and check. I want you to see that it is super emulsified. It became thick. We are going to taste it. Oh, it's so good. You want to know what I think it needs? Honestly, it needs some salt. And I honestly think it needs a little bit more garlic. So I have minced garlic that I already minced myself. And I'm going to add a little bit, more like a lot of bit, of minced garlic. And I'm also going to add a little bit more salt. I think it needs the salt. We're going to go ahead. Oh, and I'm also going to add some dried parsley. It's going to give it the little beautiful specks. And that's it. We're going to mix this in really quickly. Get everything mixed. Taste it again. Add some black pepper maybe. Ah, yes. Take a look. Look how beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and flavor wise is on point. I am going to add some black pepper. Maybe I should have taken this out of here. And we're going to go ahead and give it one last mix. And our aioli is done. Now we get to cook it. Okay, so one of the things we're doing is that we're heating up our skillet. This is the exact same skillet where I caramelized my onions. And we're going to allow the butter here to completely melt. And we're going to go ahead and start doing our little pockets, let's call them. You can do this. I'm going to do this one time with butter. The other one I'm going to do with a little bit of oil, so we can see the difference between one and the other. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and start by adding one in. And even if they open a little bit, it's okay. We're going to go ahead and get them to be browned on one side before we flip and we do the next side. Okay, so at this moment we're gonna go ahead and flip on both sides. You see it's golden. We gotta let that be exactly the same way on the other side. Okay, so we took those out. Now we're gonna do the same thing. Now we're gonna do it with just a little bit of oil, not a lot. You don't want to drown your sandwiches in oil. Just a little bit to coat the bottom of the pan. And as soon as the oil comes to temperature, which is almost there because the pan was already hot, we're going to go ahead and add our next sandwiches. So in this case, we're going to add 1. See, oil's already hot. 2, and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to let it cook on one side and then the other. Gonna go ahead and add the third one. This is the one with the caramelized onions because I didn't close it purposely so I can see it. So we're gonna do really well, nicely golden on one side, flip it, cook it golden on the next. Okay, really quickly, let's lower this because it's gonna burn too quick. Carefully, you're gonna flip them. Flip them. That happens to me for talking. You don't wanna overcook these. And we're just going to cook them on the opposite end. We do want to grab yourself a little spatula and just do that so that way it flattens a little bit. And when that's cooked, I'm going to do the sweet one so you can see it. So now we're taking these out because they're golden on both sides. And the last ones we're gonna do before I feed my husband really quickly is that we're going to do the sweet one. So we're doing 1 sweet, 2 sweets, and we're gonna let these cook exactly the same way. So here we go. To start out with, we can put a little bit of the aioli right in the center of the plate. And we swoosh. And we can take one of our sandwiches. We can cut it in half. And we can show here how you have ham and cheese, or we have, let me make sure, this one has the ham and yellow cheese with the red peppers. Yes. And again, we're talking about football, right? So we just put our sandwiches directly on there. So this is a simple ham and cheese type of a meal. Now I'm going to show you really quickly the sweet one, okay? Now I know this is something my husband would totally love. Look at that. But you got to be careful because you can so burn yourself. So here we have the guava and cheese. Oh, so good. Anyways, there you have it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for spending time with me here in my kitchen. I will see you guys on the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, you know, all the fun stuff. Because you will do me a grand favor. Thank you so much again for watching. God bless you, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.